Every business owner wishes that they could just have an endless flow of leads coming into their system where they're qualified, they're ready to purchase, and you can just sell them on whatever your service or product is as soon as they enter the door. But the reality is, nobody's that lucky. Very few businesses get to that level. Even mid market companies struggle to generate leads and turn those into sales. So today I'm going to talk about a few different ways that you can kind of get closer to that heavy lead flow and how you should kind of think about your marketing campaigns in order to get to that point. So, first up, you want to go through product market fit tests whenever you switch markets. So, if you have a service or a product and you are basically creating the new offer for that, let's say that you're selling something to a different department or you're selling something to a different niche in your industry, you want to redo all your product market fit tests. You cannot assume that one person's needs and desires are going to be the same as the next person's. So, in order to make sure that you are making the most efficient use of your marketing and advertising dollars, you'll want to basically validate that that market is going to want what you're selling, right? So, in order to do that, you have to use outbound or paid advertising or content in order to test your ideas. Now, depending on the stage that you're at, most businesses should probably use outbound for this stage. It's low cost, it's low risk, and you just don't really have to spend that much to get it up and running or do that much. So if you're using like cold email or cold LinkedIn, all you have to do is just have your sales rep or yourself take your new idea and validate it using outbound. Now, the reality is if you send like 1,000 outbound messages or 5,000 outbound emails and you don't get any demand, your marketing is not going to work. Like your marketing is not working and you need to switch it, or you need to change your offer or your messaging, or you might want to change your actual target market. Now, the hard part about this is you can get caught in a loop of just doing this over and over again, and you never actually find that product market fit, even when you have already found it before for a different product or service or like industry or niche. Now, instead, what I recommend is actually doing something called the interview method, where you're not selling anything. You're doing pretty much what like McKinsey and these big consulting firms do, where you go and you validate your ideas and you basically build your product or service around the market. So usually people will be more open to get on a call that isn't a sales call, right? If you invite people to an interview or a discovery session, you promise that you're not selling anything or that you're at least not directly selling anything up front, people will be more open to talk to you. So that way you can go out to the market and you can type a message that looks something like, hey, my name's Austin. I'm currently building this solution right now, and I'm trying to learn more about insert industry. Would you be open to sharing some of your experience and ideas on a quick call? If you do that, you'll get a much higher response rate, especially certain people who are a little bit higher up the chain that aren't going to respond to cold emails that are pitching something will respond to an email like that, and they will give you, 15, 20 minutes of their time to hop on a call and kind of review either your idea that you're working on or your new product that you're working on, or you don't have to even bring up the product and you can just ask them about their problems. When you do this, you can basically get to talk or get to live rent free on someone's calendar. You don't have to have the pressure of a sales call, so they're actually going to open up to you since you're not trying to shove your solution down their throat. And then you can gather feedback. Now, the whole time you're doing this, you want to keep a big Google Sheet and you want to write down all the pain points and desires of these people over and over again. Ideally, whenever I enter like a new niche or a new market or launch a new product or service or offer, I'll usually try to get to it at the bare minimum, like 30 calls with qualified people where I can gather insight. As you begin to do this, you'll notice that, hey, this first person mentioned that they want X, Y, and Z. And this next person mentioned that they want X, Y, and Z. And those things are all different. So, like, that doesn't make sense. But then as you continue to take more calls, you're going to notice that many people have the same pain points. For example, if you're selling some development solution in AI, you'll notice that like, okay, well, all these real estate companies want to be able to process rent roll documents. like over and over again. Like 7 people have told me that. And now 20 people have told me that, which is crazy. So now instead of going down a rabbit hole and building something that people don't want, I'm just going to build the rent roll thing and I'm going to build it really well and I'm going to test it out with a few of those customers that I interviewed. It's great because you can go back to those customers, whether it's on a second call with them right away if they're open to it, or just looping back to them after a couple weeks and be like, hey, really enjoyed our conversation. We've actually built out an initial like test map of this idea or this product or service and would love for you to try it out. Here you go. And you drop them the link to the software that you're building, or you give them the product, or you give them the test service, right? You can also loop people in on that and charge them for it if they want to customer fund it. So, moral of the story, you just do this interview method, whatever channel you're on, whether it's cold LinkedIn, cold email. If you want to run paid ads, you can also do this and be like, hey, are you this person in this industry with this problem? And then get them on the phone. You don't even have to pitch anything. You're just talking to them and validating some ideas. So, hope that helps. It's called the interview method. Test it out.